Hey, B2B marketers. Here is why I think you should increase your investment into paid social at least 10 times, despite and actually because of current tough economic environment. So, you see, they all have been hearing the same tune time and time again. Just 5% of our target market is in the buying mode. So when we try to capture the demand, we are talking to just 5% of our potential audience, not the 95% who are not ready to buy. Therefore, it's much more important to invest in demand generation, content creation, and stuff like that in order to build a long-term success. While nothing is wrong, we've invested an appropriate amount in demand generation. I think we've been chronically, as B2B marketers, underinvesting in demand capture and, this fine line between the in-market demand and people who need just a very slight push to become in-market buyers. So instead of thinking about our target market as 5 versus 95%, let's entertain the idea how many our potential customers are in the following emotional state. They are unhappy about their current solution. They're unhappy about their current situation, but they are not unhappy enough to actually, get the phone and start dialing, get on the internet and start actively researching and downloading content and Googling specific high intent keywords that, people experiencing acute pain, people experiencing the state of emergency are doing. So they don't have an emergency, but they're not super happy. You can look at any NPS survey, Net Promoter Score survey, and you can see that the share of detractors among different industries is, between probably 10 and 30%. So that basically gives you a hint that on top of this 5% super motivated buyers who are currently in market, there is an avalanche, at least 3 to 5 times bigger avalanche of potential customers who are unhappy and who need just a slight push to, turn them into in-market buyers. And what's the best way to deliver this push? Is this some clever content on demand generation? Well, it could work, but it was designed to speak to people in a different state of mind. So those people who are frustrated about their current situation, they're just probably, not Googling specific queries in Google or Bing search. They're probably watching some videos on YouTube for entertainment or infotainment, or they're just scrolling their Facebook feeds or TikTok feeds. And, they feel that something is wrong, but they actually don't think about it too much, not enough to become an in-market buyer. So if you deliver very targeted, very gentle push that actually actualizes this pain in their brain and solve this issue of finding a solution being a cumbersome and complicated process, and that you are there and a better life is just around the corner, you might actually win like 5 times, maybe 10 times more demand than people who focus on traditional demand capture tactics like search ads and stuff like that. The reason it hasn't been widespread so far is that we as B2B marketers have a hard time making social ads profitable. And there are a lot of good reasons for that. The targeting is not perfect, and our sales cycles are long, and conversion rates are low. So we all kind of have settled for buying leads via social and video and display and stuff like that. The truth is we don't have to do that. And we don't have to invest, huge budgets. Some big corporations can invest, but a lot of, scale-ups and startups and even, very decently sized B2B companies, they just cannot invest enough to make sure their ads are optimized for offline conversions. And, until recently, and I think it's still today is the truth, the main social channel is Facebook, and their attribution window is just 7 days. And obviously nothing good in terms of pipeline and revenue happens that fast. So we've all been cooking our social ads wrong. And I'm not talking just about the audience we are serving our ads. It's obviously much harder to figure out this exact curated, small, super targeted B2B audience on social. Well, at least when it's not LinkedIn, right? LinkedIn has this whole demographic targeting. But even on LinkedIn, figuring out who is unhappy, but not unhappy enough to become an in-market buyer versus who is happy or maybe who is blissful is not something you can do with classic demographic filters. So we do have a solution for that. We do have a solution that can accelerate optimization of your social campaigns and search campaigns as well, but we are talking about social mostly right now. And make the whole process much less risky and much less, costly compared to training Facebook and LinkedIn and whatnot on offline conversions like qualified opportunities or close-won deals. If you care to know what it is, shoot me a DM or comment under this post. Our team will be in touch. But if you take just one thing from this video, I want it to be we as B2B marketers chronically underinvested in paid social over the years. And there are two reasons for that. Reason number one is we haven't been thinking in the right framework about our target market. We just focus on the 5% who are in market. We forgot about 10, 20, 30% who are unhappy, but not unhappy enough to become in market just now. And we've been lacking the tools that e-commerce companies, for example, have because they have shorter sales cycles and everything happens online, not offline as with us, B2B marketers. We've been lacking some tools to actually optimize really fast and really well our paid social campaigns to uncover this hidden demand. So go team demand capture. And that was Dmitry Popov, co-founder at Tommy.ai. See you soon.